Welcome to Meet the Candidate with your host, Sulani Madsen. Meet the Candidate is your opportunity to see local candidates and hear about the experiences that have shaped their lives. Meet the Candidate is a nonpartisan community project brought to you by your friends at the Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, North by Northwest Digital, We Believe, We Vote, and the McGarry Law Office, the landlord's attorney. Now, here's Sulani.
Welcome to today's edition of Meet the Candidate. My guest is Monica Manza, who is running for the Medical Lake City Council. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you.
So I'm glad you could join us. And this is just an opportunity to introduce you to voters, starting with the most basic of questions. So tell us about where you were born and raised.
Well, I was born and raised in Tacoma, Washington. And eventually my parents built a house and moved to Lakewood. And I essentially was there for several years until I moved over to Eastern Washington to go to school at Eastern.
Okay, and you decided to stay after college?
I did.
Yeah. And what did you study at Eastern?
I have a Master's of Science in Speech-Language Pathology.
Okay. I think when we talked on the phone, you mentioned that you had worked at, was it at Lakeland?
I still do.
And you still do work at Lakeland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a lovely campus, actually.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So what were some of your favorite subjects in school?
Not math.
Not math. Oh, and you have a Master's of Science, but not math.
Correct. History.
Oh, so have you done any travel to kind of follow up on that interest in history?
Not a lot. California several times, Montana, Hawaii. I'm pretty limited.
Okay.
Minnesota.
What led you to choose speech pathology as a specialty?
Well, I wanted to do something that was helpful and something that would be engaging for me and something where you're constantly learning, and that field has a lot of variety.
What is there a particular patient that you've had that's really inspired you to keep learning?
I don't know about patient in particular, but I like head injuries and strokes.
What makes those most challenging?
Because you never know what's going to come out of their mouths.
Just a lot of surprises that way.
Very much.
Very surprises. Is there some other kinds of public service that you've done besides the service that you've provided to your clients? Things you've done in the community?
Well, I've been the Fox Ridge HOA, that's the HOA in Medical Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I've been the president of that for the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I was vice president. Prior to that, I was secretary. And that's been since 2004 when we moved there. I'm no longer president, thank God. So I decided to move on to something else.
So those are past positions, but
Past.
what are some things that you learned from that experience?
It's political.
Well, you put a bunch of people together, politics
Mm-hmm.
breaks out. So,
It does.
I'm looking for another question to see. One of the questions I've often asked people is to tell us about a first job that you had where you first learned to put effort together with money.
Well, in the professional world, I had a first job in the Tri-Cities area, and I was moved.
Oh,
to
it's the
several-
Children's Developmental Center?
No,
Oh.
no, it was a nursing facility, and then one of the hospitals there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was among a lot of farmers,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting. And it was interesting, the perspectives. So I'm from Tacoma, so it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then you're into an area that's very rural and farming, and they all know each other. So if you mess up, it's going to go around.
Yes, that's true. Working.
It was an experience.
Okay. I mentioned the Children's Development Center because I have a young woman that I've known since she was 4, but she also went into speech pathology, and she works there and has certainly had some interesting experiences with her patients, but hers are all of the young
Mm-hmm.
the young age. So as you were working with those farmers in the Tri-Cities area, what was maybe most surprising to you coming from your background?
They are extremely knowledgeable, and surprisingly so about a lot of things, not just the farming aspect, but politics and agriculture. It was a learning experience for me.
Yeah, farmers have a lot of time to read in the winter sometimes. So
They do.
Amazing what they pick up. Well, so you came back up from that experience, back up to the position at Lakeland and Medical Lake. You have family in the area?
I have a husband and no kids. He has 2 children from a previous marriage.
And so the Medical Lake has been your home for how long?
15 years.
Oh, sounds nice. As you were looking at the town, what made you decide that you would turn to public service?
Well, and when my husband first asked me to move to Medical Lake, because we had been living in the valley, I really didn't want to do it. So I decided, okay, we'll do this. So we had a house built, we moved in, and Medical Lake is a nice little bedroom community, but it needs some cleaning up and it needs some help. Not necessarily population-wise, but businesses. And it just needs to be, I think we can do better than what we're doing right now. I'd like to see Medical Lake kind of be more on the level of Cheney and Airway Heights.
So you had some aspirations that you wanted to fulfill.
Yes.
Well, the last question that I ask anybody is always the wrap up. It's your 1 minute to talk to the camera and tell people why vote for Monica Manza for the Medical Lake City Council. And I think you need to mention too that you are a registered write-in, because that's the hard way to do it.
Well,
Take it away.
If you vote for me, I'm a hard worker. I will get things done. I'm not one for sitting around. If I do not know something, I will look it up, I will research, I will find out. I believe in giving people an opportunity to speak. I like to hear from what the community has to say. I think I'm a good choice, and I'm running for council position number 1 as a write-in against John Pikuli.
Okay, so if anybody wants to vote for you, they have to spell your name roughly correctly, because you are registered write-in, so that they actually have a little bit of leeway on the spelling, but it's Manza, M-A-N-Z-A.
Correct.
And I want to thank you for coming today, Monica, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. Spokane Talks Online thanks our community-minded partners at Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, North by Northwest Digital, We Believe, We Vote, and the McGarry Law Office, the landlord's attorney, for helping make Meet the Candidate possible.